I think are important that you should know about. And the first one is, and I'm going to have these out in a minute, is we have a free online tool. It's fantastic. We have a little palm card right here, and we offer free online services called Property Fraud Alert. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Property Fraud Alert, or property fraud, is one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes in the United States. And what it is basically people come to our office where they're recorded for the county, and they'll record fraudulent deeds or property transfers of property. Now, in my official duty, the Florida statute gives me very limited ability to do anything about that fraudulent deed. If that deed or that paper they're reporting meets all the requirements in Florida statutes, or just names and witnesses and addresses, and it's properly executed, notarized, I have to record that document. If I was standing there and someone brought in a deed on my house, I would still have to record that, even though I knew it was fraudulent. They give me no leeway with that. So what this service does is allows you to go online, it allows you to put your name in there, and we'll not monitor your name, and you can do it multiple times for multiple variations of your name. And what it will do is, if anything comes in our office and it is reported, it will send you an email with a link to that document, and you can view it. Or it will call you also. You have the option to be called. But I want to stress that this is not a prevention, it is an early detection tool. We have no way to prevent it, but it's one of these crimes that if you detect it earlier, it's easier to stop. So what happens, they'll come in here, they'll file that fraudulent deed, they'll transfer that property to their name, and they'll go sell that property as fast as they can. And now you got a mess on your hands, right? And the only remedy for that is through the judicial, the courts. We have no authority to remove any official records without a judicial order. So it has to go through the court. So if you get one of those alerts and you think it's fraudulent, you can call us, but I cannot help you. You need to call the law enforcement, make them aware of it, and you need to call a property attorney, because you're going to have to get something on record really fast, trying to alert title companies and everything else that is a fraudulent title when you're challenging it. And then you'll have to unwind that through the courts, unfortunately. Now, the good news is, go ahead. Ours would only be Nassau County. The good news is every clerk of court around the state now has this service. You just have to go to their website, register. So if you own any property, please register this and be alert of it in any county. And the properties that are really under attack is the ones you own outright. If you don't have a mortgage or something on it, those are the easiest ones to make a quick transfer and a quick sale on and be gone with your money and your property. The legislator is trying to fix this. They passed something last year. It helped, but it's not a solution, where the witnesses now have to print their name and put an address. But if I'm willing to put together a fraudulent deed, I'll put together a couple of fraudulent witnesses and addresses, and it won't make a difference. But there is a pilot program going on in Lee County right now, and it's been successful. Hopefully it's going to go statewide, which will require a photo ID in order to transfer property. So they would have to include a government-issued photo ID with any deed that's recorded in our office. So hopefully that goes through, and I think that will be a big change in this. So if you don't know about this, please tell your friends, please tell everybody. It's really important you do this. I'm not aware of a case in Nassau County yet, but surrounding counties have had issues. I know a particular case in Clay County, it took them a year or two to get that fixed. So that's one service we offer. The next one is we get to summon you. we do the jury summons on behalf of the courts. So if you see, Nassau County does it a little different than most counties around the state now. We went to where we don't do a cattle call. We don't bring 250 people in the courthouse. We don't send you someone and ask you to show up on this day and sit there for a few hours and wait until we get to you, and you might be impaneled and asked to go up to sit on a jury. Right now, we got it to where you'll see this postcard. You'll receive this. Don't ignore it. It's not a scam. It's official. And as good Republicans, I know each and every one of you want to do your civic duty and serve on a jury panel. But what it does is it lists an address you go to, and you'll register. It'll walk you through the registration process. And it's fairly easy. And you'll go through the excusal process. If you can't serve, you can put a note into the judge. I cannot excuse you. Only the judge can excuse you. So put it in there. He can make the excusal if he wishes. He can defer you. He can put you off for a year. But you'll go to that website, register, and what it will do is you'll be essentially summoned for 2 weeks, meaning you're on call for 2 weeks. What happens with a lot of jury trials is they never make it to trial. They end up pleading out, they do a plea deal last minute, they don't really want to go, they're trying to leverage each other right up to the last minute, and then they'll plead out or they'll make a deal. So this prevents you from having to come in here, sit for multiple hours. You will only be called if you are needed to sit on a panel. Now, but just because we call you in for a panel, don't mean you're sitting on the jury. The judge might ask to call in 30 people, and he needs 12 jurors. And you all go up to the courtroom, the judge, the state attorney will ask you some questions, and they'll either say, I accept this juror, or I don't, and they can dismiss you for any reason. And once they get their full panel, everybody else will be dismissed. So, yeah, we do this pretty regularly now. Once a month, these go out. It's, like I said, you're summoned for 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks worth of trial weeks scheduled in Nassau County. So don't ignore these. They're important. At Nassau County, I think we're really blessed. We have a really good response rate. Some other counties really struggle to finish up court. And I'll say, if the judge gets upset, he can put out a bench warrant and have him go pick you up if you don't answer this. So he can. I've seen it. So you don't want that sheriff showing up at your door. The other one is interesting, and I don't think very many people know about it. Did you know it's illegal to do really door-to-door sales or solicitation in Florida? You are required to have a home solicitation permit in Florida. And most people don't know that. And that requirement only is if you're selling goods or services at $25 or greater. So you have to have that. The reason they put it in there is in order to get a home solicitation permit, you have to come to my office to get this. You put out an application. We're going to send you, after you fill out the application and pay your application fee, we're going to send you over to the sheriff's office. He's going to fingerprint you, and we're going to get a background check. They do not want people that they're not familiar with going door to door and knocking on people's doors, and you don't know who they are. So we issue home solicitation permits in Nassau County. No one gets them. I have exactly one active in Nassau County. One active. So the chances of someone knocking on your door and then being legally at your door to solicit sales is probably very, very small. I think that one solicitor, or that one permit is for someone selling internet services, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, sir.
So if someone knocks on my door, the first question I should ask them is, do they have a home solicitation?
You can absolutely say, can I see your solicitation and your photo ID, because I want to make sure it matches. You can also call the sheriff and say they're walking around soliciting. It's illegal. Now, if the sheriff comes out, that's up to him, but there is penalties for it. It ranks from misdemeanor all the way up to a felony, depending on how it's ranked. So you can get serious trouble. Or you can just take the approach to me, I never answered the door. So I find that the easiest way to deal with it. Yeah. You are selling, you're trying to sell yourself. Right, that's not a solicitation. So you don't know if they're soliciting, but if they're trying to sell goods or services, they have to have a permit.
And the permit.
I'm not going to go too much longer. I'll show you one more thing that we do. I have a
government issued ID.
Actually, I'm going to say that, but I'm going to talk about something that came up the other day. And someone, when it came out about having a branch office, they're like, well, how do I get a marriage license without driving? We do marriage license online. You can do a full application, you can set up an appointment, you can choose to come in there and then receive the application, or we can do it electronically, set up a Zoom meeting. We will give you the oath and send you electronic marriage license right through there. And we get a lot of that because we have a lot of out-of-state visitors coming here to get married, so we do this a ton. Now, I would ask, though it's not officially listed, that you still dress appropriately on the Zoom calls. We have many times we have to put people on hold and ask them to please put on some pants. So it is very disturbing, but we get the poor ladies downstairs see it all the time. But we do online marriage counseling, so yeah. So and we get the oaths online. So yes, sir. They do absolutely. They are all recorded and kept. Yeah. So yeah, unless you want to be like that guy on CNN, put some pants on.
There was a guy on CNN.
I think what I'll finish with, because I've kind of talked a lot, I got a bunch of stuff up here, but I'm going to finish with what I consider some interesting statistics and facts about Nassau County. We're the comptroller, and just about a month and a half ago, we provided and went to the board and presented the year-end financial audit report. And the great news is in Nassau County, we're in terrific financial and fiscal position right now. We're doing great. AAA rating. Mitch, very few counties.
91 counties out of over 3,100 nationwide.
Have that rating. So we're in a terrific, our board is doing a terrific job managing. And if you read the Fitch report, it's about low debt, it's about the management, it's the management of the upcoming infrastructure and how we're managing the county, and the use and the taking advantage of how our millage is done. And leveraging that when we need to and not leveraging it when we need to, right? So we have a lot of flexibility in what they do at the county. So we're doing a great job there, but after we present that to them, my office, we put together what we call an ACPR, an annual comprehensive financial report, and a PAPR, a popular annual financial report. All those are located on our website. The one that's really of interest and it's easy to read and made for the public is the popular annual financial report. And it has some interesting things if you ever flip through it. So I like to flip through it every once in a while and just pull out some interesting facts. And it's generally a 10-year look back on what has happened with a lot of things in our county. So population. Last year we got an estimated right around 104,000 people. I think it's 103,990. 10 years ago, we were at 76,556. So about a 36% increase in population over 10 years. It's a lot. It is a lot. We're increasing. Not many counties are seeing that, I can tell you, because I go around and go to our association. It's a lot to do with. So to get a credit increase and seeing all the good work done, our county is really doing a great job. Our board's doing a great job of managing that. It's a big burden. Now, employers in Nassau County. I always find this interesting. Who is the #1 employer in Nassau County?
School district.
I was going to say, I knew some people. How many employees do you think the school district has?
1,500.
10 years ago, 1,500.
2,500.
3,000, over 3,700 employees the school district has. Over 80% of our employees in Nassau County is part of the school district. So it's an incredible employer for us. The #2 employer in our county has just over 1,000 employees. So that tells you the parity in those. And anybody have a guess who the #2 employer is?
Jack Hurd.
No, Jack Hurd? Ritz is up there. They're in the top 4, but the actual #2 is the Omni Plantation. They have 1,000. And #3 is Nassau County Government at 981 employees. Now that includes all the constitutional, so that's the sheriff, my office, and everybody tied up into there. So, and really any growth in that, because I wanted to look at it, my office 10 years ago had 68 employees. We now have 74, so very little growth with population. We're doing really great leveraging technology. I looked at the board; they're doing great. Really, all their growth in positions and all is really in the public safety sector, fire rescue, sheriff's office. That's where a tremendous amount of their employees are. And although the constitutions were really close to what you saw in the clerk's office, they're all really close. So, I feel like all of us are good Republicans. We try to manage and do the best we can and really use technology to our best benefit. The last one I'll leave you with, just because we're all good Republicans and we can't leave this without talking about taxes. Property taxes in Nassau County. In 10 years ago, we collected, our collection was $48 million in property taxes. Last year, we collected $123 million, just over $123 million, so 156%, I think, increase in property taxes. But what our county has done in the last 4 years, and our board has gets a lot of credit for this, and I'm sure you've heard Commissioner John Martin talk about this.
No.
They have actually managed to lower that millage rate the last 4 years. And they did it by calling it the modified millage rate, I think is what you like to call it. Modified rollback rate. Modified rollback rate. So, and it's a really smart thing to do, because what they're trying to do is do no harm to the current full-time residents here that are homesteaded. Try to keep your tax rate. But at the same time, everybody knew this coming. We still need their money. We got to deliver services to them, all these new constructions. So we need to collect them to be able to collect their taxes. If we do the full rollback, we're missing all that. So we're trying to they're doing a great job to manage that. But that just tells you the growth that's happening in Nassau County is tremendous. I mean, tremendous amount of property tax. I think I can wrap it up there. The only other really note I have is that, and I think the property appraiser here, he can confirm it. The median home sales price in Nassau County last year was $435,000. 10 years ago, it was just below $200,000. So really, big difference in prices for homes here. So I know our board's working hard on affordability, but you know, there's only so much government can do with that. The market is the market, right? But thank you guys all for the opportunity to come here. I'd be happy to take any questions that you have about what I spoke about or anything about the clerk's office in general. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mitch, does the audit report, does that include the school district as well?
No, sir. The school district is a completely separate entity. Yes, sir. It includes the Board of County Commissioners and all 5 constitutionals.
So who does Fitch do it for the school district as well, or, I mean, that's probably out of your lane, but.
Yeah, I don't know. They would have a CPA, an external audit firm, do the external audit, but Fitch would. Does the school board get rated? I don't think they have a rating. I don't think they're a rating. Yeah. But the audit would be done, and I'm not sure who does their external audit, but I know there's a requirement to have. Ms. Martin, do you know?
It's the state.
Does the state come in and audit the school board?
Yeah, and there, you know, there's so many different audits. There's an auditor, at least when I was in office, there's an auditor there almost all year long.
Okay, wow. Jeff, is that true, Joe?
So that is true. At the last board meeting, actually, we just voted to hire a more comprehensive auditor who will come on site and review our records in person for the upcoming audit, because I'm sure Ms. Martin could tell you too, and typically the auditor we've had would just request us to send them the records, and then based on the records we provide, they would conduct the audit. But the superintendent recommended and the board agreed and adopted a modified or a new contract to another organization that is going to come on site, review the records, and report on us on site.
So you have fresh eyes.
Fresh eyes.
It's always great. We do switch, and then ours has to go out to bid for the county also every so many years. And I mean, those audits are exhaustive, at least I know for the county side. They take about 6 months to complete. Yeah, it's very exhaustive, and it takes all of my team, it takes each constitutional and a lot of their time and their teams and the board's team to get it done. But we do it, and it's worked out great. And you know, and we got to be held accountable, right? We got to be able to account for it. Yes, sir.
So, you know, Mr. Joe, how many students are in the school district? How many students, Jeff?
Okay, Jim.
Well, just a reminder, this is about the clerk records, but however, the current enrollment is just about 14,000 students in the Nassau County School District.
3,700 employees, 14,000 students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got a lot of work to do on the school board.
Yes, sir.
A month or so ago, the governor was talking about some kind of a refund or payment
property tax on primary residence. Have you heard anything more about that?
No, let me tell you, the state legislators pretty tied up with each other right now. We don't have there's a big fight going on, and we don't know how it's going to end up. I can tell you in the House bill, there was, I think it was using the elimination of the TDC and using those TDC taxes, which is our tourist development taxes, and using those as a rebate against property taxes for homesteaded properties. But it was a blurb in there. There's really no backup on how it was going to happen. If you ask me personally, I think it was a negotiation thing. They're really going through some negotiations. You know, they want to eliminate ad valorem taxes or property taxes, but you got to have a plan to do so. I don't know how you would do it. About 52% of our revenues in Nassau County come from property taxes right now. No, I just looked it up. It's 52%. Yeah, 52% is property taxes right now. So yes, the legislators, there's a lot going on. We're all in limbo. We hope they figure it out soon, because in one side of the House, we have two judges, new judges for Nassau County, a circuit in the county, and the other side, we have one county judge. I'd like some clarity on where it's going to come and how they're going to fund them, because you can't just fund a judge and not give everybody else in the judicial system some money to help fund that. And as a board of county commissioners, where do you place judges? We have courtrooms available, we have space available, so it's always a struggle. Is there a need for another county judge? Absolutely. I think we could absolutely use another county judge. We're growing so fast in those opportunities. And we'll make it work, whatever it is, but I'd like some little clarity, especially in my budget, in my operational budget. I'm trying to June 1st, whether I have to plan on another judge or not. So. Any other questions? Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Great job as always.